Now, these are 5 businesses that you shouldn't be in a hurry to start them. Otherwise, KITAKURAMBA. Alright, so anyway, I'm gonna take you step by step and explain to you what are these 5 businesses. And guess what? Number 5 is actually a popular business. So you better stick around and know exactly which one is this popular one. And of course, you don't get started with it. And I'm not saying that these businesses cannot perform. But as of now, I can tell you, hold the thought fast. But before that, watch this video to the end. And guess what? I usually upload each and every day a video about tips on how to make money, how to save your investment, and those kind of things. All right. If you love that kind of coffee, then consider this place a home by going down below there on your right. There is a button written subscribe, and on the left there is a like button. Hit those 2 magical buttons, and guess what? YouTube will notify you whenever I upload a new good video for you. All right. So let's get into this business now. What exactly are these 5 businesses that you shouldn't be in a hurry to start them in this 2023? Let me tell you one secret. Yeah, I know maybe you're passionate about these businesses. I know maybe you're out there, you'd love to start this business. I know this is the year you said that you're going to start a business. But let me tell you one thing. They're not only internal factor that compels you to start a business, but as well consider what we call the external factors. But if you get compelled only by the internal factors, you're going to make sometimes a wrong decision. And this is why I said, like, it's not always starting a business that you're passionate about it. Now, what are these businesses? Yeah, I know you're waiting for that. Now, business number 1, of course, photography. Yeah, photography business. It's quite a good and lucrative business because nowadays we don't have this common people used to walk around our homes with a camera and a bike and take our photos, and we have to wait for, I don't know, 2 weeks or something for us to get that thing. It's like an ID or something of sort. Yeah, you see now that industry has changed and has been transformed. People are having a very nice, good, well lit, studio whereby they take your very classic, elegant photos and such kind of a thing. If you are newbie, meaning that you're getting started, you've never been in this industry, it's a thing that comes inside of you. You just love it. It emanates from inside of you. You know nothing about this business. I would advise you this. Take your time. Listen about this business because, and honestly speaking, where we are right now, and not only in Kenya but the globe, we are facing sort of a recession or something. I cannot even tell exactly what is going on. People are cutting down on the luxuries because, honestly speaking, photography or taking photos, it's actually not even a must have, not even a good to have, but that's a nice to have thing. So people are trying to cut off what we call the nice to have thing, and they're moving towards the good to have, and actually they're concentrating more on the must have thing. So photography, it's a lucrative business, it's a good venture, but you think about that specific business before putting your money on the go, because you might get discouraged at this specific period of time. But if you got yourself the guts and everything, all the confluences are telling you should go ahead and start it, how about you just ignore and move ahead and start with it? But I've given you that thing. Be careful. Inaweza kakuramba. Number 2, it's about the travel agency. Yeah, I know there are people who are already in this business and they're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? I mean, seriously, this thing has money. And it's true. It's a lucrative investment as well. It makes money. We have a very, successful travel agencies in Kenya. And of course, one thing, if you're getting, what I'm bringing there, my point is this: if you're getting started, you know nothing, you don't know the nitty-gritties as far as this business is concerned. And of course, any business usually takes time to build so that at least you can be able to make sure that you mass yourself with loyal customers and all those kind of things, whereby you've already transformed your customers to be ambassadors of your business. But if you have a luxury of time at your side, you have a luxury of some money to keep on pumping into the business so that it can be able to resuscitate it, or if not really resuscitate, but at least make it be out there, then you can go ahead and start it. But what I'd advise as of now is this: hold the thought, don't do away with the dream, don't do away with the vision, but hold the thought, think about it, because let me tell you one secret. If there was an industry that was really hit and actually has not been hasn't revived yet well after the 2020, that is the coronavirus thing. That thing really hit that agency, and I'm telling you, a lot of people are making losses. But guess what? That is what happens when it comes to businesses. You can never predict anything that will transpire tomorrow morning. So it's always good to make sure that at least you have one way or the other that you can be able to caution yourself in case a BS happens. So it's a good thing, it's a good thought, hold on to it. But as of now, if you do not have all the moving parts that you understand, then do not just go ahead and execute just because you have the luxury money or if you have money as your luxury at your disposal. Hold the thought if you have to start that business, consult and engage those people who are already in the business, so that at least you can be able to know how and where to go started about it. I would advise, first of all, instead of you buying yourself cars and all that kind of a thing, if you really have to do it, then consider renting first, so that at least you do not amass yourself a lot of responsibilities on top of you. Consider connecting people, sort of a quote unquote broker in terms of the agency, understand the field before you put your money on the go, and from there you can be able to grow to the next level. All right, the next one is about solo tax. What does that mean? So solo taxi. Solo taxi simply means you are off the grid. You're off what we call this mitandao, or this internet, where people can actually go ahead and download an app and get you. If you just rely on yourself about that, you're just calling your customers or the clients or travelers and what have you. You're not covered by anybody out there. That one can be a little bit tricky. That can turn to be good to some people and bad to some others. Especially if you're not aggressive, you're not this kind of an individual who you got what we call the streetwise. There's a difference between being a book smart and a streetwise. If you're not a streetwise kind of an individual, then this one can be a little bit tough for you. But if you know very well you're not an aggressive, you're an introvert, you are not, you're just a cool guy, just like the taxi people, you're a very cool guy. Some of them are a bit aggressive. If you know you're just a cool guy, I would advise you go under the umbrella of these kind of apps like the Uber, Bolt, name them, all those kind of things. All right, it depends on what you guys have in your town. So I would say it's a good business, yes, I do not deny, because there are always isolated cases of people who always say like, hey, you know what, I've bought my own land, I've built my own places, I educate my children using the taxi. I am not saying overly that anybody who is operating this place, they are somewhere at the corner crying and suffering. That's not the case. Of course, there are always some isolated cases with those people who are already successful in that business. But guess what? You have to understand one thing. If there are isolated cases, of course, we have another set of people who are actually feeling like they just want to sell. There was a time, by the way, in Nakuru, I saw a lot of those cabs being sold. Like each and every cab was passing by, I used to see something at the back of it on sale, on sale, on sale. And I was asking myself, what the heck is going on? Because these cabs are really being sold at a very high rate. And then I had to interact with several of them, and they were telling me, hey, this is not what we thought, all right? Although Nakuru has had an isolated scenario or case or situation whereby they thought they can operate from town, but they were chased away and all those kind of things and what have you. Anyway, the point is this: it's a good business, you can get into it, but before you get into that kind of a business, of course, understand all the nitty-gritties that are required or needed for you to operate a successful business. All right. The next one is about Shiloh Business. Of course, this is about lending people your money, and of course, you take their products as the collateral. If they default or they come to a point whereby they can give you what we call the go ahead, and like you can possess their thing in place of the money that they owe you, then ahead you can be able to sell that product, and at the end of the day, you move to the next level. There was a time this business was actually booming, but then a lot of people flooded into the business, because there's something I realized in Kenya, or with Kenyans. Some people, or a lot of people, have money, that's for sure. They do not have an idea. The moment you show up with a unique and good idea and you're making money, everybody floods into the market. Sometimes they even actually make it bad for even those who started. Because one thing that we lack in Kenya is about creativity. Creativity, it's at 0 point. Nobody is creative. They just think of a Me Too thing. They see a butchery operating somewhere. They see a cab operating somewhere. They see a certain business operating somewhere. Then you have like 10 of them on the go, and then you guys don't even consider about the market segmentation and that kind of a thing. So you engage yourself in a necessary competition that actually draws you back to a point whereby you're not even realizing profits in that specific business. So the point is this: I'm not saying that it's not good to copy the other people, but if you want to copy those people, and of course, if you are to operate the same and similar business, of course, try to be a little bit creative. Because if you aren't creative in your business, of course, that means you cannot be able to grow, develop, or even actually move to the next level in that business. So the point is this business actually started as a very good and lucrative venture until where people actually flooded into the business. A competition was stiff, but not even necessary. We can have a stiff competition, but it's a necessary one. But you can have a competition that is not even necessary one. It's just drawing yourself, all of you, into the losses. So you must have what we call the regulated formula for you to make sure that at least you're operating in a profit, at least all of you. But heck, who can you tell like not to open that business? After all, we live in a capitalist country. This is not a communist country, it's a capitalist country, whereby is everyone for themselves and God for us all. So There's nothing we can do about it. You have to swallow the thing and we move with it. Just be creative, be outgoing, and move to the next level. So why did I say you shouldn't start this business? I didn't say like overly you should not start it. What I'm saying is this: before you start it, know some of these realities and the factors that it can be tough for you when you're starting up as a newbie. But if you have the guts, you are an extrovert, you are an outgoing person, you're good at sales, then go ahead and start this specific business. But it's a business that requires of you to be very, very careful. Otherwise, you can get yourself into problems. Of course, at this particular point, you have to make sure that the product that you're being sold, of course, is not a stolen product. Number two, you have to make sure that at the end of the day, you are the winning side. That's for sure. You have to be on the, in case anything goes wrong, you are on the winning side. That's for sure. Now, we go to the last one, but not the least, and this is what you've been waiting for. The most popular business that people actually go ahead and start and think of, it's about the restaurant business. Whenever somebody gets some money, says, hey, I want to either start a shop, or I want to start a restaurant or a hotel. Whatever the thing is, we Kenyans confuse those two terms, right? Whichever the case, here I'm talking about selling people food. Now, this is a very, very quite a sensitive business. And the reason why I'm telling you to hold the thought before you watch this video, not because the business cannot be lucrative. No, it can. Actually, where we are right now, a lot of people are consuming or are using their money more on their food and such kind of a thing. So the reason why I'm telling you to hold the thought way before watching this video, but after this, you can go ahead and execute the idea, is this: you have to understand how to run this specific business. It's very challenging. And most of the people tend to complain at the evening, hey, you know what? I've been engaged, I've been busy, I am tired, I've paid everyone, I've paid all the suppliers, distributors, and what have you, but I'm left with nothing. And you wonder why nothing, and yet you've been selling, you've bought all of those kind of things. We cannot be able to see them on the shelves, meaning they have been sold, but you do not have money. You know why? Because you do not have what we call the appropriate way of following up how much you've been selling, what has been selling. Maybe you may have some products that are actually dragging the other. What I would say is make sure that you have a pen and paper, write down all the products that you're selling, identify each product with how much you consume in terms of making it and how much does it make, and the other one, the other, and the other one. So from there, you can be able to monitor each and every item that you're selling, so that you tell this one is selling, this one is not, this one is dragging the other, and such kind of things. Otherwise, if you do not do exactly that, you just do things in a very funny way, just in a very generalized way, then you're gonna get yourself into problems and you're gonna rub shoulders to a point whereby you even don't even pay your workers, because at the end of the day you realize, hey, you know what, if I was to get like 3,000 and pay them, say you pay them each and every day, I'm gonna left with nothing. It's a good business. Be careful, learn how to operate it way before you actually execute the idea. It's always good to have yourself the target, the mid-tier, and lowest profit. And the moment you realize you can be able to operate your business on the lowest profit, then that's a worthy business to execute and get started. Right? So anyway, guys, if you've managed to watch this video up to this particular point, guess how I am? I'm so much grateful and thankful for you doing exactly that. Make sure that you subscribe to this channel so that you become a member. You'll be notified whenever I upload a new good video. Right? Make sure that you take my number from the description of this specific video. You can give me a call for purposes of consultation, money management skills, for the booklets, and we can get started from there. For now, it's a goodbye, but don't forget, just like an iron sharpens another iron, so do we learn from each other. So give yourself a comment down below on the comment section, and let's get started. For now, it's a goodbye. See you there.